Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what the narcissist breaks. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So there is a very long list of things the narcissist breaks. I'll jump right into it. The first thing that the narcissist broke was your trust. You see, you had trust in the narcissist, and you probably had trust in most everybody on the planet until you met that narcissistic individual and they broke your trust. They told you A, B, and C, and they did X, Y, and Z. Remember, the narcissist approached you usually, probably wearing a mask. They were manipulating you. They were trying to trick you and trap you and have you exist in the narcissistic fog. And they had you believing that their words were true. They had you believing that they actually cared about you, maybe even loved you. They had you believing that your hopes, dreams, aspirations, and goals were going to be theirs as well, because the narcissist assimilated themselves with you early on in that relationship, and they wanted to have you fall for them and fall for the mask. Remember, the narcissist, they want you attached to them. They never, and I mean never, become attached to anybody. The narcissist is a shapeshifter. They're a dark energy source, and they will come at you in all different shapes, sizes, speak different languages from different parts of the globe. But one thing remains constant: the narcissist, they cannot change, and they will continue to manipulate and wear a mask to infiltrate people's lives. But trust was something that was broken. The narcissist would always test you to see if you would give them one more chance, to see if you would believe that this time they would change, to see if you would believe in the words that they were telling you. Side note, pro tip here, which is actions speak louder than words. Anybody can say A, B, and C. Anybody can verbalize words, or most people can. It's not your words that you use, it's your actions that actually matter. So trust was broken by the narcissist. Another one was probably your home. Your home was probably broken, meaning maybe you married the narcissist, maybe one of your parents was the narcissist, maybe it was your sibling, maybe all of the above. Well, when you were raised in a narcissistic household, that family was broken, I can assure you. Meaning there was so much toxicity going on in between those four walls, but you thought that was normal. You were the glue that kept the family together, most likely. You probably are an empath. You were the person who would be putting out the fires that the narcissist would be igniting, whether it was your mom, your sister, or siblings, whomever it was. You were the person who was looked at to problem solve and to troubleshoot issues and concerns when nobody else, and I mean nobody else, would lift a finger to help you out, because that's why you are a beautiful, bright, shining light. But your household probably was broken also. And that is if you were brought up or raised in the narcissistic family. But another thing, flip it. If you were married to the narcissist, it's the same thing. You didn't know they were a narcissist when you married them. If you did, and they handed you the 2-page report and said, this is who I am. It's what I've done to many people before I met you. It's what I will do to you. And it's what I'll do to many people after you, after I discard you or end the relationship. You would have run for the hills. But that's not what happened. The narcissist came in under stealth mode. They were a wolf in sheep's clothing, if you will, and they infiltrated your life. So those are a couple more things that were broken. The next one would be literally the narcissistic relationship, because the narcissist was stepping on that gas pedal of abuse. They were dipping you in the deep end of destruction, and they were mining for manipulating techniques to continue to keep you trapped, i.e. gaslighting, stonewalling, the silent treatment, triangulation, my least favorite thing these people use, the smear campaign, mirroring, projection, on and on and on. This is what the narcissist did, this is what they're doing, and this is what they will always do. Because the one constant in the narcissistic abusive cycle, it is the narcissist. It is not you. You were in that relationship for a period of time, and you were captured, and you were existing, and I don't mean living, existing in the devaluation stage. That's where the narcissist placed you. Keep in mind, you were not taught narcissism 101 in school, so you didn't know what you were up against. You most likely were a people pleaser or a yes person, or believed that people's words would match their actions, and you believed that most people had your best interest at heart. We now know that there are many people that do not have your best interest at heart, and at the top of that list is the toxic narcissistic creature. But your relationship was another thing that was broken, and I will assure you, when you were in that relationship, you knew something was off, but you couldn't identify it. And every time you got closer and closer to figuring out what was going on in that relationship, the narcissist would give you a little bit of fake adoration, or fake love, or fake empathy, or fake kindness, or they would give you a couple days of the love bomb / euphoric stage to get you off the scent, to get you off the trail of deducing and or figuring out who they are and what they were doing to you. But that is what they do. Remember, the narcissistic abusive cycle, It begins with the love bomb / euphoric stage, when we believe that everything is puppies and rainbows, unicorns and butterflies. It's almost too good to be true. Because why? That's right, because it is too good to be true. And then once the narcissist knows they have you, that's when they begin to dip you in the deep end of destruction, which is the narcissistic fog, or the devaluation stage. That's where you were existing for most of that relationship. And then the discard, or the ending of the relationship. And then at times there's a hoover. Never, and I mean never, ever accept a hoover. That is why virtually in every video I create, I strongly suggest that people go no contact. They block the narcissist, they delete them, they remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. Because the narcissist does not have your best interest at heart. They didn't then, they don't now, and they never will in the future. So your relationship was broken, and it was broken by the narcissist, despite everything you did to try and keep that relationship together. You did your best, you gave to a fault. There was nothing else you could have done. Remember, the narcissistic relationship, each and every one of them has an expiration date. You now are understanding that. Then the narcissist knows this. They've always known it. They had a timeline as to how long your relationship would last. Would it be until the kids got to high school? Would it be until you cashed in your 401k? Would it be until you retired, or they retired? Would it be until you bought that beach home? Would it be until you figured out who they were? There are so many nuances and layers upon layers of the narcissistic abusive cycle. Just understanding the basic foundation that the relationship was going to break eventually, that is a huge pill to swallow in and of itself. Other things the narcissist broke was your belief in humanity. Yes, I know that's a very, very difficult pill to swallow, but many times people, on the healing path, many times people will ask me in one-on-one sessions, like, are there any good people out there? Like, I am a kind, loving, stable, healthy individual. I've been through the narcissistic abusive cycle. All I'm looking for is some friendship, maybe some companionship, maybe to fall in love again, but I'm looking for stable, healthy people, and it seems like everywhere I turn, there's a toxicity element to the person, or that person wants something from me, or they're trying to zap my energy, i.e. an energy vampire. Well, to answer that question, yes, there are great people all over the planet, and I'm sure you're one of them, unless you're a narcissist, and if you are, please remove yourself from the channel. You're not welcome here. But assuming you are not a narcissist, and I'm sure you're not, there are like-minded people out there. To be totally blunt with you, they are few and far between, but they do exist. There are good people. But remember who you are. Most likely you have become, or you are becoming, the educated empath, which is a person with a high level of empathy, and you've gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle. You have healed, or you are healing, and you're working towards reaching the pinnacle, the mountaintop of indifference, where you no longer care about the narcissist or any person from that period of time. And now you still maintain your level of empathy. It's just that you harness it, you corral it in, you give it away to those people that are loved and trusted, or to people that you are in reciprocal relationships with. You don't just give it to somebody because they're asking. That's what we did when we entered the narcissistic relationship. That's what we did before we even knew what narcissism was. We no longer do that. We no longer are people pleasers. We now have boundaries, and we now can say no, the strongest word in the English language. And when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. Play that again. It's a very pivotal part of the video, and it's true. No is a complete sentence. So all these things I'm mentioning, what the narcissist was breaking, they were breaking you and your relationships with your children or stepchildren. They were driving wedges between your relationships, not only with your kids, but I will focus on them for a moment. You probably experienced or still are experiencing parental alienation. Or maybe you're a grandparent and you can't see your own kids or the grandkids because your kid, who turned out to be a narcissist, is not letting you see the grandkids. I hope you follow that. There are layers upon layers of this topic to be discussed. But this is another thing. The narcissist wanted to break any personal relationships that you are part of, and children are a pivotal part, because the narcissist doesn't care about their own kids. They want to drive wedges between any stable or healthy relationship that the children may have had, which of course was with you and with them, because the narcissist is envious and jealous, and by no means is the narcissist the parent of the year. Quite the opposite. They don't want to spend time with the kids usually, but they don't want you to spend time with the kids, or they don't want their grandparents to spend time with the kids, because again, they don't want the grandparents instilling proper beliefs and being taught right from wrong and accountability and understanding there are consequences for poor behavior, etc. That's why the narcissist isolates people. That's why the narcissist wants people removed from their support system, their city, town, state, country. That's why the narcissist is doing so much heavy lifting in the beginning of the relationship. They're having you doubt yourself. They're having you lose your sense of self. You became a shell of yourself. You lost your identity to the narcissist. You were a walking apology. You were a sounding board. You were the unpaid helper. You were a chauffeur. You were the person who cooked, who cleaned, who did the laundry, who paid the bills, who went to the grocery store, who probably went to the grocery store multiple times because maybe you bought the wrong kind of bread or you bought the wrong detergent, etc. This is how the narcissist kept testing you and testing the temperature of you and the relationship, because the narcissist was trying to break that relationship because they were grooming the new supply behind your back, and you didn't know what supply was. Now you do, or you're understanding that supply for us, the healthy, stable people, supply is like Clorox or Wipes or Kleenex or something. Do you have enough supply of that? Things like that. That's not what the narcissist thinks of supply. The narcissist thinks of supply as your energy, your time, your money, your effort, your love, anything that makes you you. As long as the narcissist can derail you from your day-to-day functions and have you focus on them, have you pining for them, have you answer their text the minute they text you, or have you drop everything you're doing if they call you, and have you run, if you're on the couch at the house and you hear their car enter the carport and you jump up and you act like you were cooking or cleaning or doing something because you couldn't just sit on the couch for 15 minutes and decompress. You see, the narcissist is always on the go. They're always looking for the next new shiny object. And what they expect are people to stand at attention whenever they enter a room or whenever they communicate with somebody. The narcissist believes that they own people that they placed in the trauma bond. They believe that people will never escape the narcissistic abusive cycle. They believe that people won't heal. They believe that people won't see behind the mask. And they believe that they can break anything they want to, which leads me to another part. Think about your tangible items. Example, maybe you have a favorite pair of tweezers like I had, or maybe you had a mirror, or maybe you had a pair of running shoes, or maybe you had a telescope or something that was treasured by you, maybe even a family heirloom or something, maybe a favorite piece of china that was passed down through generations on your side of the family. Well, these things usually, or many times I should say, they would either go missing or they would be broken. And you would come home from work one day and you'd be like, well, what happened to the tweezers? Like, they were my mom's and they were her mom's from like 80 years ago. Like, what? How did these things break? They were in my travel bag. I don't get it. And then the narcissist would look at you like, what are you talking about? I have no idea. I don't know what's going on here. No one's in your travel bag. I don't know. And then you're like, but I used them this morning. They were in perfect shape. Well, what happened there? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Somebody went in your travel bag, i.e. the narcissist, broke them because they were very important to you, even though they weren't worth money. They had sentimental value and generational, passing down the generational tweezers through the years, and they didn't want you to enjoy them, so they broke them. Many times they'll actually hide your things also, or flat out throw them away. Think about it. Think about the clothes. This is one I hear frequently. People will have garments or dresses or shirts or t-shirts or pants or blouses or whatever, and they will find stray strands that are threads, if you will, that were pulled, or little slits in them that will be being cut, or stains on them from bleach or things. Why and how do you think those things got there? Before you met the narcissist, you never had any issues with your clothes, did you? Of course you didn't. But then you moved in with a toxic narcissist, and what did they want to do? They wanted to ruin your clothes. These are real life examples of how things go under the radar when you're in the narcissistic relationship, and how they're trying to break anything, which included you. They were trying to break you throughout that whole relationship. Now, did they? Of course not, because you're here on the channel, you're in the community, you're getting your cup full, you're learning, you're growing, you're teaching, you're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and you understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. You are no longer giving to a fault. You are no longer surrounding yourself with toxic people, and you are now either in the cocoon of boundaries and healing and self-isolating, or you've already done so, and now you are out into the world and you're taking a class, teaching a class, reading a book, writing a book. You're doing whatever serves you. But going back to what I talked about, the narcissist did want to break you. And unfortunately, there are people that the narcissist has broken in the past. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but I think you can read between the lines. But that's not you. You see, you picked yourself up by the bootstraps. You dusted yourself off. You healed. You rose through the ashes like a phoenix. You conquered something, i.e. the narcissistic abusive cycle, that you did not even know what you were up against because you weren't prepared for this. You weren't taught this in school, but you beat it. You defeated it. And now you've gone no contact, etc. And what can the narcissist say? Absolutely nothing other than, oh my gosh, I threw everything at that person, including the kitchen sink. I tried to drive a wedge between them and anything that mattered to them. I watched their health deteriorate. I watched their money go to zero. I watched all the relationships implode that I drove wedges between. And guess what? They are still here. And they look better than ever. And their voice is louder than ever. and they are stronger than I ever even thought possible. Yes, that is you, or it is about to become you. And this is when the doors of abundance will open up for you. This is when the doors of opportunity will open up for you. This is when the doors of possibility will open up for you. It's not literally after the relationship ends. That's when you have to put yourself back together. It's after you understand by practicing radical acceptance who the narcissist is, and they infiltrated your life for a period of time, and then you healed and you processed childhood wounds, and you journaled and you meditated and you saw a therapist and you watched videos and you read and you slowed your life down. When you did all these things in time, in your time, you will heal. And when you heal, then you can look back and say, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to be out of that relationship. I wish I never went through it, but I did. It's part of my past. It's part of my history, my lineage. But I am such a stronger person for going through it. You see, the narcissist tried their best to break you. They couldn't though, because you are here. The narcissist wanted to break everything about you, your spirit, your energy, your soul, your aura. Another one they wanted to break was your finances. I am certain that your finances took a hit. Maybe you went from having 0 credit card debt and owning 2 cars and your mortgage was super cheap to having a mortgage 4 times what it used to be, massive credit card debt. You don't have a car anymore because you had to sell them to pay bills, and now you have nothing in the bank. This is what the narcissist loves. What the narcissist loves is money. And what they love more than money is your money. Play that again. The narcissist thinks their money is theirs and your money is theirs. And they know this. You didn't know it back then. That's why you were in the relationship giving to a fault, thinking things would change, thinking that you could stop things from breaking, but you couldn't. You can't. You did your best. You did everything you possibly could to keep that relationship afloat, despite the fact the narcissist was trying to break it. And the narcissist, eventually, they did succeed at one thing. Yes, they did succeed at breaking that relationship. Or you removed yourself from it, but either way, the relationship broke. Having said all of these things, this is what the narcissist did before they met you. This is what they did when you were in the relationship with them. And this is what they're doing right now if they're still walking the planet. They are blowing up people's lives left, right, and center. They're in competition with people that they are in romantic relationships with. They are in competition with their own children. They are in competition with their own grandchildren. They're in competition with the neighbors, the people in their hobby groups and communities they were a part of. The narcissist looks at people as opportunities. They look at people as weak and frail and naive and as people that they can take advantage of. And all those things are true until you get the wisdom. And unfortunately, we had to go through the narcissistic abusive cycle. Did we want to? Absolutely not, but we did. And we have healed, or we are healing. And now we understand and recognize exactly how powerful we are. And we cannot be broken. We weren't broken. We were fractured. We were damaged, but we were not broken. And that's why we're here in the community. And that's why I suggest so frequently on videos, get your cup full, put yourself back together. Imagine, if you will, you're at 30,000 feet in an airplane and the oxygen mask drops from above because you hit turbulence. You cannot put that oxygen mask on your neighbor. You need to put it on yourself and save yourself first, and then you can help your neighbor out. Going back to the narcissistic relationship, nobody knocked on your door and checked in on you. No one checked in on me, not one person. And I'm sure no one checked in on you, which meant you realized rather quickly that you're gonna have to really do some digging into yourself here. You're gonna have to really process things and heal. And that's what we do, because we weren't broken. We were damaged, we were fractured, we were hurt, but we weren't broken, and we are not broken now. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful, about to be rainy Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that you are not alone. And right now, this may be the first video you're ever consuming. If you think you're broken, you're not. What it means is you're in a very vulnerable position, and you're gonna have to heal, because the narcissistic abusive cycle, the narcissistic relationship is the relationship you need to heal from. But again, I was once where you were. I put myself back together. If I did it, you can do it, and you can do it, and you will do it. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. You are stronger than you know. You are resilient. You are committed. You are focused. You are determined. You are moving forward. You are healing. You are getting stronger each and every day. And every day you stay away from the narcissist, they get smaller and smaller, and you get stronger and stronger. And the stronger you get, the smaller they get. The smaller they get, the weaker they get. The weaker they get, the less impact they have on your life. Understand, eventually these people will be no bigger than a piece of dirt below your shoe. And that's where they belong, below your shoe. They belong in the rear view mirror. So close the chapter of the book on the narcissistic person or people and begin living your best life. If not now, when? I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I have to go because it's gonna rain very soon. I love you, bye.